In this video, we're going to go over Amazon Seller Support in order to show you how to use it, which type of contact methods to use, and which situations are best for each. Now, while Amazon is definitely a customer-centric and customer-focused company, they do realize that their sellers provide a vital part of their business. So to help support their sellers, they have a dedicated seller support department and a good set of online documentation to help answer any questions that we might have. Now, to contact seller support, you simply click on the Contact Seller Support button that you'll see on many of the screens here. It's not on the home page, but if you do scroll down to the bottom, you'll always see a Contact Seller Support link down there. And that'll bring you to the main Contact Seller Support page. Now from here, you'll see a list of different issues or topics on the left-hand side, and you simply navigate your way through each one of these until you finally find the right section that you have your issue. And then you'll click on that, and then it'll allow you to enter the information for your issue. Now, a lot of times when you click on the Contact Seller Support button, it will take you to the appropriate section already because Seller Central knows where you're at and they know what issue you most likely have. However, it doesn't always do that. That's why you just can always navigate if you want to the right section. Now, when you scroll down to the bottom, you'll be asked to enter your question, some additional information. Usually it has to do with the product you're talking about, and then what the contact method is, email, phone, or chat. An important thing to note is that if you select the phone option, you do not contact seller support, they contact you. So you'll be putting in your telephone number to have them contacting you. Now, which contact method you choose is definitely up to you and is your preference, but we also want to give you some advice on some situations we found that certain contact methods work better than others. For example, for phone, this is really a good method to use when you have one of two situations. First one, if you have an urgent need and you can't wait for someone to email you back, because that can take up to 24 hours, phone is always a good option to get someone on the phone right away. Also, another good option for phone is when you want someone from Seller Support to walk you through how to do something in Seller Central. Seller Support really does excel at that, at walking you through exactly how to use their system. So a few examples might be how to set up a parent-child relationship, how to go through the brand registry process, or how do you set up a promotion and which of the different promotion methods work best for a situation. Those are some situations that Seller Support can really walk you through on the phone very easily. Now, choosing the email contact method will initiate an email conversation with you and Seller Support. However, it's a pretty slow and tedious process. It can take up to 24 hours to get a response back, and as many people will tell you, you don't usually get the right answer on the first response. A lot of times you'll get a canned response or they don't quite understand your issue because it's not as simple to have a back and forth conversation like you can on the phone. However, there is a time to use email, and that's usually when you want to document their response. So for example, if you need to get clarification on an Amazon policy, the email method can be really good because that way you have a record of exactly what they told you could and could not do, just in case anything ever happens later on. And the chat option is somewhere in between phone and email, but personally I think you might be better off just talking on the phone instead of this option, as that way you have a rep's dedicated attention and focus on the phone, whereas in chat a lot of times they will be talking to and supporting several people at the same time. So if you're outside of the country, outside the United States, and a phone doesn't really work for you and you want something a little better than email, then absolutely chat might be your best option. Now, the last thing we want to go over is something that Matt talked about in an earlier video about how to remove virtually all negative seller feedback. And the way you do that is by contacting seller support, just like we went through here. However, there's a pretty simple way to do that that I'm going to walk through right now. So here I am back on my Seller Central homepage, and let's imagine that's first thing this morning, and my plan is that I'm going to go through my customer feedback and look for any negative feedback to review. So I go up to my performance widget, I click on customer feedback, and this will show me my most recent feedback, but I want to make sure I see all of it, so let's click on the View All Your Feedback. Now, I don't actually see any 1-star ratings on here that I want to have removed, but let's imagine that any one of these is. I'm not going to do it, but let's just picture that it is. Let's say this was a 1-star one. I'm going to highlight the order ID and then copy it. And then I simply go down to the bottom of the screen and click on Contact Seller Support. What that does, that brings us exactly to the right location where I can submit this order and have it removed. Now, of course, I could have navigated here if I wanted to. Just go to the main Seller Support page, click on Orders, click on customer feedback problems. But the point is, I'm in the mode of reviewing my customer feedback, and by doing this all right there, it takes me to this right page and saves me a couple steps. So the next step is to paste in the order ID and then click check, and then Amazon verifies that it was an order that was fulfilled by them, which makes it available to be considered for removal. So if that was the case, if let's say that the order did not arrive on time, or something on here was incorrect, like Amazon did something wrong during the whole fulfillment process, I simply click on fulfillment by Amazon feedback, because the reason they gave me this review is because of an FBA issue. What portion of this feedback qualifies for removal? I'm going to type in all of it and then scroll down and click send message, and within 24 hours that negative review should be removed. Hopefully now you understand a little more about this really good resource we have in seller support, and you know how to use it, which type of contact method to use, and in which situations are best for each one.